All right, here we are. So today I get to sit down with the lovely AJ Kikamoto. So thank you so much for being here with me today.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm so
Oh,
excited. Thanks.
this will be a lot of fun. So now for the 2020 Mrs. Colorado pageant, you are currently Mrs. Douglas County. Is that correct?
That is correct. Loud and
Fantastic.
proud.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, start by telling me a little bit about yourself, AJ.
Well, I have a fun story. I grew up in Boise, Idaho with horses and hometown values. And now I have 6 kids and married and wild and crazy. And that goes right into what I'm working on right now with my kids. We're writing books. We're talking about values and bringing that all back.
Oh my gosh. So tell me more about writing books. Are you writing books like children's books or what kind of books are you writing?
Yeah, we're writing children's books. And I've got some great little artists and lots of ideas. We've got unicorns and Pegasus and elves and
Oh my gosh. Well, I cannot wait to read it. That's amazing.
so
How,
yeah, we're really having fun, with the fantasy side of it and bringing in the morals and the values together. So it's just been great.
oh, AJ, that's fantastic. Well, and you're going to be competing for Mrs. Colorado this summer. And so kind of tell me what motivated you to join a pageant competition.
A huge motivation was just even a couple of years ago when my then at the time 6-year-old competed for IJM, International Junior Miss.
Yeah.
With yeah, so and she came out on as the little junior princess, and 4 out of my 6 kids have apraxia of speech. So what that means is that it's motorly hard for them to create sounds. So she was mute at age 4,
Oh, wow.
mute. So at age 6, she's on a international stage in Nashville, Tennessee, giving a 45-second speech.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
so proud of her. And to see the growth in just a few months, I was like, oh my gosh, motivation right there. What if she can do it, I can do it. And just empowering my kids and empowering the community, right? That yes, you can do hard things. So I've lost 80 pounds to compete. And
Wow.
yes, and I'm ready to show the world what we've got, and you can compete with 6 kids.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And don't you love it when we learn things from our kids? We always assume that we're the teacher and we're teaching our children all these things, but it's kind of cool when that is in reverse a little bit.
Absolutely agree.
That's so great. And so I think you already answered like the second question I was going to ask you was like what life lessons would you want others to learn from you?
And that's perfect segue to our books that we're working on. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The circle and cycle of life. That yes, that's what I want to bring back. We've got troubled teens. We've got kids that are getting overweight. I've got a kid that is getting overweight. We've got kids that are struggling with technology and saying that they've turned things in when they really haven't. And so it's following through. It's bringing it all together, and it's those core values. Love God, love yourself, and then by loving yourself and loving others, all things come together. So that's the moral that we want to bring to everyone with our cute little children's books.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's a marvelous idea. And I think the more that we can get that positive message out there, the more important it is. I mean, coming with that positive message is so important. I think people need to hear it in different ways and different avenues. So I think that's fantastic that you're bringing that to the world. I think that's great, AJ. Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and if you were crowned Mrs. Colorado in July, like what would your reign look like?
Well, I've thought a lot about that, and it's
Great.
kind of changed every time I've competed. And I feel like this time with the books, with like really, it's not all about me, and it never was, right?
Never is when you have 6
It
kids.
never is. It's about families, and it's about communities, and bringing my family together where we're working together on this book, and then working with that, spreading that to the community, and then even bigger to the libraries, and even bigger to the nation, and even bigger to the world. So it's that big thinking, but
Yep.
starting small.
Yeah. that's what they say. Start in your backyard, right? Start in your own
Right. Start
community,
in your
and then
backyard and empower. So no, we're not just empowering women. We're not just empowering kids. We're not just empowering teens. We're empowering everyone.
absolutely, totally, 100% agree. Perfect. Okay, so next question: who do you admire and why?
Well, the go-to is always our moms. We always say, "Oh, mommy," but no, really, my mom. Like she's a nurse for 45 years. She was working when my dad was out of work for a couple of years. She had 4 kids. She instilled into us these strong values that I'm bringing into our books of love and God and the power of, loving yourself. So it's my mom. I love her to
Oh,
death, and I'm just grateful that I can bring in the morals and values that she's taught me, take them to my family and my kids, and then to the community and the world.
oh my gosh, I love that. That's so important to have those role models, just like you're saying. That's fantastic. I can tell you when I competed for Mrs. Colorado, I felt like every year I um, okay, so I can tell you, like when I was competing for Mrs. Colorado, I felt like I learned so much about myself every single year. And I always tell people that, when else in your adulthood, especially when you have children, especially 6 children, and you're doing careers and you're doing all those things, do you have that time to kind of sit down and really think about, what your goals are, what your values are? And that was really important for me for a lot of self discovery. And what I wanted to know from you is what have you learned about yourself as preparing for the pageant?
I've learned so much. I thought I knew myself. Yeah, I didn't. Had no idea. And your screen is freezing. Can you hear? uh I have learned so much about myself in all of these years of competing, of bringing together, where I started from and to where I am now. I've danced with the Denver Nuggets. I've, written children's books in my master's program in elementary ed. I've taught school, and now I've had 6 kids. I have a teenager all the way down to a preschooler. And I just feel like with all of these age levels, like really is multitasking time, right? So it's really made me do some self-discovery, some self, challenges and looking into myself. So yeah, the spread is amazing on what I've learned about myself. And I've learned specifically that I really have to work hard for things. Like things have never been easy for me. It wasn't easy for me to lose all this weight. It wasn't easy for me to give birth. And we had 2 miscarriages. We thought we were only going to have one, and we almost lost a kid. We almost lost my daughter at Disneyland. She was 2 months old, and she almost
Oh,
died there. And CJ, this was only a couple of years ago. He got RSV really bad. We were in Children's Hospital for over a week. We almost lost him. So I've almost lost 2 kids,
oh my gosh.
and I can't explain and describe how devastating that is. And
Yeah.
it really brings it back home, right, of what's important to you and what your morals and values are, and just being empathetic and sympathetic to everybody, people that can't get pregnant, who have a lot of kids, who have lost children, who have challenges with weight issues. Like I really can relate to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and I feel like that is just a huge blessing of what I've learned in these challenging times of competing for Mrs. Colorado.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. I cannot imagine. I've never, thankfully been where I've been in a space to potentially lose a child, and I cannot imagine what that feels like. That would just be incredibly difficult. But thank goodness your children are healthy now,
Yes.
so that's wonderful. So that's
Yes.
great. Kind of changing subjects a little bit. So just quickly tell me, how many years have you competed in this pageant?
So this will be my 3rd year. 2 years as Mrs. Highlands Ranch,
Cool.
and now this 3rd year as Mrs. Douglas County.
Awesome. Okay, so obviously you want to win Mrs. Colorado because that's the goal, right? But what else are you hoping to gain from this experience besides just the crown?
Well, it's not just a crown chaser. It's the self-discovery. It's the self like growth and learning. And that's why I've competed all of these years. Like I'm teaching my children so many things. And yes, they get mad. They're like, well, mom was doing her pageant stuff and she didn't have time for me. And then, you know, we talk about it. It gives us great. Sounds good.
All right, go for it.
I hope to gain so much from competing for Mrs. Colorado. And this is, you know, instead not being a crown chaser, right? Like this is
Yeah.
all about me and the community and bringing my family together. So not only is it, you know, self-care and, you know, self-love, but it.
All right, AJ. So my next question is, besides the crown, of course, what are you hoping to gain from participating in Mrs. Colorado?
The whole reason why I've been competing all of these years is it's not just chasing a crown. It's bringing my family together, teaching them these morals and values that we give back to our community, and we have some self-love. We have some self-care, and we take care of ourselves. Like, take pride in yourself, in what you're doing, in everything that we do. So I hope to bring all of those morals and values into my home, build my family, build my community, and in turn, give back and be a better person myself.
Oh, I love that. It does. And it really is. It's kind of that full circle that you've been talking about, right? And so you build yourself up, and that helps you take care of your family better and your community. And it's just this kind of full circle, which I fully understand and believe. So I'm going to take a totally different turn, and I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite toy growing up? Did you have one?
Oh yes, I grew up on the Loveland Ranch with horses and cows and pigs. My favorite toy is those those Tinker toys. Do you remember those? They're in Toy
Oh,
Story,
yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
those wooden circles with the sticks. And I
Uh-huh.
had so
Oh. So my last question for you today, AJ, and again, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It's been just lovely to chat with you and see your face, even though I can't see it in person right now because of COVID. It would be lovely just to hug you but this is okay for now. So I think that's what we got to do. Last question would be like, what is one thing that you would want to share with me today about anything, about who you are, about whatever? Is there anything that you just want to say?
well. I just totally agree. Like, Mina, it's just been such a joy to chat with you, get dressed up, and have a chance to have that conversation with you. And I just want to share that's part of all this, right? That, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, getting dressed up and putting on a little makeup and actually doing your hair and you know, it's just such a fun ride. It's the journey. You know, we always say, you know, it's the end result and it's the crown. Well, or if it's a race, it's, you know, winning first. It's not always that. It's the and it's five people's opinion in a pageant. It's, you know, one person's opinion in, you know, in different things, whatever. At the end of the day, enjoy the journey. So that's my message. Enjoy the journey and love yourself.
Gosh, I couldn't agree more, for sure. I always thought that when I was competing, it was the journey that I just really, I mean, it was kind of like when the winning was like the cherry on top, but that journey was so, so powerful about what you learned about yourself, what you gave out to your family. You accomplished things that you didn't know that you could accomplish. You stepped outside of your comfort zone. So, and everybody's reason is different, but they're all equally important. So, and it's all about that journey. So, thank you, AJ, so much for spending some time with me today. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and we will talk soon.
Oh, you have been
Okay, I'm missing you.